I don't want to be. I don't. Oh, you know what? Oh no, but I can't do that because then if I, you know what? Let me see. I can bring this. Yeah, so you don't see my butt. So you don't see. Cause I be hot. Oh, I look so pretty. I look so pretty. I look so pretty. With that ear. Okay, let's wait. I look so pretty. No, listen, I'm telling you now, log off because there's no laba laba, no mix up going on here. So if that's what you want to hear, I suggest you go somewhere else because it's not happening today. Okay? Good. We don't have time for you to talk about the full people then. Worse, last week, the pay period, they messed around with my pay. Now the week, wherever. Now you ask for your peer, your one day missing, and then I act like you have to beg them for it. And now it looks like these people are all gone hungry. The ones up in a power, them want everything for themselves. And any way they can smooch it out of you and you don't say anything, they run off with your hard-earned pay and act like there's nothing you can do about it. Well, this one here, okay, whoever wants to run back and go tell anybody anything, go right ahead. This one here, who's in America, I didn't come here on a banana boat. That's number one. Number two, when we did come to America, we came through Kennedy Airport. My sister, my brother, God rest his soul, my mother, and stepfather. And when we entered Kennedy Airport, they gave us this green card. I said, Mommy, what is this? That's your green card, your ID. Put it away. No, no, as a matter of fact, give it to me. We went through, and there we were, outside Kennedy Airport, looking like, where are we? We're lost. Good. So me never come here, the US of A, on a banana boat. Now, you employers who think that all of us people ain't got no brain and we do, it's not going to happen. Not with this one. Right? That's why I say that. I've been in this country long enough to know who to contact when you all want to play with people's pay and money and have amnesia like y'all don't know what's going on. Well, this one here, who did not come here on a banana boat, is going to show y'all what tax-paying people, big tax-paying people, can do in America. So I'm going to go run, go tell somebody that about the employer who I work with. So if I call out sick as a union employee paying union dues, yeah, there's no reason why I should be having to query, question, ask, beg why I ain't getting paid for a day that I called out sick for. So you all want to play games with people. So guess what I did today? I called out sick. Yeah, I called out sick. Because now I need to have it documented that when I called out sick, these guys, these bigwigs who's greedy for money, they trying to play with people who work for them and act like it doesn't matter if you're in the union, you ain't getting paid or whatever, whatever. Not on my tour and not on my shift. I did not come here on a banana boat. So because I'm angry and upset, I have to go to the Lord. Now, who feels offended by that is too bad. Now, you have ones who did come here on a banana boat. Let's talk about these people that came here on a banana boat. And they seem to forget that they came here on the banana boat. They seem to forget that when they came here illegally, they had to get married first in order to be legal. And while they're spreading all of this corruption, disruption, they forget that when they came to this country, they came here what? On a banana boat. But they're tearing down corruption. Now, when they got off the banana boat, they had to go do, hide out and do what they needed to do until they found somebody who would marry them so they could talk about they have a blue book. But they also need to remember that these things can be brought up in the court of law. Why we're talking about courts and laws and suages and all these things, right? That the histories of people will be brought up. So while you're running off your mouth, as usual, also remember that you came here on a banana boat. You didn't come here and went through a port, a legal one. You came on a banana boat. Yeah. You was running around until somebody married you so you could talk about you got a blue book. Now remember, these are the things you said. Yeah. I'm speaking in the third person. So I really don't care about Nono Ono. Because y'all don't care about yourself. Good? So I don't care. So anywho, hi Rowena. So we're going to continue reading Melchizedek. Now, this is not about he say, she say, mix up interference business, and I call people name and I compare all kinds of stuff. It's getting so like is you people do not have a life, not even before Christmas. Because people's lives are more interesting to you guys than anything else. And there's nothing else you guys can talk about other than people. So it gets monotonous after a while. Listening to people talk about people. It's just. So anywho, so even if I'm talking to myself, it's good. Because, I generate ads. It's not about views. People want a lot of views. They want to see they got 10,000, 11,000, whatever views, because whatever it is. Over here on I'm a Rasta for Life, we deal with content. We're not here on the competitive run because we want to get views. Because not every view is a good one. Please remember that. When you see crowds of people running over to where you are, not every view is a good view. So don't think that because you got thousands of people watching you, that there's something good. Sometimes it's not. So we're not the ear for views. We ear for truths and rights and edification. Yes, sometimes we will get a little mixy and messy. I'm having a good day right now. Seriously, let me see. Okay, one thumbs up. Me not look pan the thumbs up either. Me can't bother with no, me not care, me no business. But do recognize that you're not going to hear nothing over here that you want to hear. So go bungle up over there where the things is, okay? Over here and out of that. And because I'm not in the mood, and because I'm very upset right now, the only thing that I can do is reach out to my father, even if it means just reading or whatever, anything to make me feel a little better. The only thing I can run to is him. Even on social media, but this is just content, right? This is just reading. So, sometimes this is the only thing that I have to, make me feel better. Real talk. My teeth look so white and pretty. Yeah, so I'm here, just enjoying the wonderful Sunday. Have no plans. Oh yeah, my niece is here from Atlanta. So we'll see how that goes. So I just need some comforting words, that's all. But I don't need them from people. The Eternal said to them, now this is when the Creator is going to now dismiss Adam and Eve out of the Garden of Eden, right? But he's doing it with love and compassion, but they gotta go. You cannot stay here anymore. You gotta go, right? He's guiding them out of the Garden of Eden, and they don't want to go. The Eternal said to them with love, children, even if you have to remain in this hostile environment, you do not need to fear, for I will remain by your side. I will be a fellow friend on this journey. I will carry your pains on your shoulders, your desires, your struggles. When tempted by the enemy, they were about to give in. They will be able to find shelter in my arms, which will always be extended to save them. If one day you will not resist, and by the fury of the enemy, you will be dragged into the depths from the abyss. Do not despair, believing you have no hope, for I will be there to meet you with my forgiveness and strength. Always keep in mind the meaning of the garments received from my hands, for they speak of the redemption that man belongs to. Rest, my children, in my arms of love. After comforting the couple with these promises, the Creator, seeing that they were sleepy by fatigue, made them rest in his lap. Oh! And as usual, gently caress them to numb them. Seeing them forgotten in their sleep, the Almighty wept as they foresaw the suffering they would experience upon awakening. With their hearts broken by the pain caused by that physical separation, the Creator left the couple asleep on the grass after kissing the faces already marked by suffering. His light dissipated by becoming invisible, giving rise to the darkness of that first night out of paradise. In the subconscious of the couple began to parade colorful dreams of a happy past. The beauties of Eden were once again in the middle, filled with eternal joy. Graceful for life, they ran through the flowery fields, playing with animals, happily joined the voices to the angels in the harmonious songs in praise of the Creator. So many beautiful scenes paraded in his subconscious, but those dreams became nightmares, making them relive their tragedy. Agonizers woke up in the darkness of that first night in exile. Failing to fall asleep, the couple remained in tears until they were comforted by the dawn that revealed to them in the distance the nostalgic paradise. The Almighty, although invisible, remained next to Adam and Eve there on the hill. Their suffering was his suffering, as well as the hope that one day they would return victorious to Zion. Before the contemplative gaze of the Creator, the bleak future of humanity was revealed. With regret, I saw countless creatures perishing without salvation for rejecting his love. Tears wet his face, foreseeing the enemy using all cunning in order to retain human beings under his domain. And you know who he's talking about. Ingrid Darling. So now, this is the agony of Adam and Eve because they have to leave Eden. Long would be the night of sin, and the battle for the conquest of the lost kingdom was at odds. The triumph of the light would require from the Almighty an immense sacrifice in the person of the Messiah. In his time, he would be born among men and people with the mission of paying the ransom price. Through him, many would be freed from the claws of the enemy. All those who accepted him as Savior and King. Against those chosen, the enemy would attack all the forces trying to make them fall. In his vision of the future, the Creator contemplated with joy the final triumph of the redeemed. They had been extremely tested, but in everything they were more than conquerors through him, who redeemed them from darkness into the kingdom of light. After anticipating the sufferings that would result from the great struggle, the Eternal extended his gaze across the captive plains, contemplating there the rebel hosts willing to fight. The aim of these armies was to seize the human being again, in which the right of dominion over the universe was sealed. Contrary to the nature of the Creator is war. But for the defense of his children, he was willing to use his power. His strength, however, would only be used fairly if the human being rejected that protection offered by the sacrifice of the Messiah. The Almighty could do nothing to prevent himself from perishing in the grip of the enemy. Adam and Eve, however, had repented of their great sin, receiving by the mercy of the Almighty garments of salvation, symbolized by the skins of sacrificed lamb. Justified by the delivery of the couple, the Eternal summoned his powerful armies for the fight. In prompt obedience, the hosts of light stormed the outer space in the direction of the earth, surrounding which strong wall the hill, bearer of the treasurer, redeemed by the blood of the divine King. The human being was given a duty in Eden to take care of nature. They prepared quarries for flowers. They reaped fruits for support. They directed the animals in their innocent life, training them to be useful. These occupations had been for them sources of development and pleasure. Now, despite the adversities, they should continue to perform that duty. The work itself, carried out according to the Creator's orders, would already cancel out many enemy attacks. The couple's first occupations on that morning brought revelation of the Almighty's great love, hitherto unknown. As they gathered the stones for the construction of the altar, this is so beautiful, it is unbelievable. As they gathered the stones for the construction of the altar, they experienced the pain of wounds that drip blood, as well as the fatigue that caused sweat to emanate. Feeling and contemplating everything in their own flesh, they loved the Savior more, for whom the built altar foreshadowed greater wounds, which would shed all his blood, as well as fatigue that would undermine all the sage of his life. The look of nostalgia and hope of the couple from now on would never perch on distant Eden without first discerning the altar of sacrifice. That altar with its stains of sweat and blood would remain as a remembrance of pain and suffering that, after moistening the lips of human beings, would transship into the Creator's cup. After contemplating for a long time the paradise of eternal life that extended far beyond the dark altar of death, the couple experienced the sweet relief of rest. Eager to know the landscapes of their new home, Adam and Eve, encouraged by hope, went for a walk. Hi, Carlos. Adam and Eve. Their steps led them along the paths of smiles and tears, of charms and disappointments, of delicate flowers unbuttoned, bathed in perfume, and of flowers lying withered and odorless, of still, docile, and submissive animals, and of enemy, fierce and menacing animals. The couple discerned in their walk the currencies of two worlds, that of light and that of darkness, of love and selfishness, of hope and despair, of harmony and disharmony, of life and death. The vision filled them with sadness, and they cried along. That sadness would increase even more in the future when they discovered the depth of those currencies within their offspring. 6 trees had already colored the skies, announcing to the couple the dark and cold nights that with their cloak of darkness undid all the living images except the hope of seeing them colorful again in the dawn of light. The hour of sacrifice was approaching when the rude altar, scorched in his justice, would cry for blood. If they did not offer the offering, it would explode with certainty, wrapping the whole world with its flames. There would be no dawn, then no hope of Eden to flourish. How precious is the blood? Blood is life. Life is light. For a being that night would become eternal without dawn. That being should take the blame of everyone, giving his blood to the rude altar. Who would offer? Who would pour the sage of life until he saw the last flesh go out in the sky? Adam and Eve, after reflecting for a long time, contemplating the cradle of death built by their hands, looked at each other restlessly with that decisive question: who will offer? That inquiry, born of his guilt, made the voice of the blessed Creator vibrate deep within his remembrances, in his revelation of infinite goodness. I love you with an eternal love. I will die in your place. Grateful, the couple bowed reverently before the thirsty altar, seeing it by faith, satiated by the gift of eternal love. On that afternoon of the 6th day, the Almighty subjected the human being to a tremendous test of faith. They had before them the altar of stones built according to the divine order, but there was no sheep for the sacrifice. In their yearning, they remembered Eden, where there were many flocks. When they saw the sun fall on the horizon, Adam and Eve began to cry out to the Father for help, because they knew that only a miracle could provide them at that last moment a lamb to sacrifice. In the eyes of the inhabitants of the universe, the great miracle for which the human being cried out was already processed for almost a week. Guided by the Creator, an immaculate lamb had left Eden and followed the couple's traces in their walk to exile. In his long day, the little animal had to face many challenges and dangers. More protected and guided by the eternal, he continued in his mission. When the shadows of the dusk began to wrap the hill, the couple who lived such a hard test of faith discerned a little white dot that jumped on the grass, coming towards them. As he approached, that lump seemed to speak of hope, of life, and heat. Seeing that the great miracle had happened, they ran to meet the lamb, wrapping it in his arms. He was tired, but he would not rest. He would rest. He was thirsty, but he would not drink. He would drink the altar that cried out for blood. The lamb had the will to live in the arms of man, but he would die so that he could live in the arms of the Almighty. It was a perfect symbolism of the Redeemer who would leave his glory, coming in search of the sinner, the darkness of one. More prefigurative, night slowly descended, enveloping all nature in his prison. His strength, however, would be struck down before the human being by the brightness of a special fire ignited by the hands of divine forgiveness upon the lifeless body of the innocent lamb. Everything was prepared for the painful blow, an act that would extinguish from those sweet eyes the last flash of life, immersing them in the cold darkness of an eternal night, darkness that would generate light, cold that would generate heat, death that would generate life, undeserved gifts, fruits of divine love offered to sinful hands, ready to hurt. In the middle of the silent night, the altar cries out. The sad man exclaims, while the mute lamb does not claim to be extended for death. The hands that built the altar rise now, not to caress as before, but to hurt, bleeding the price of forgiveness. Just a gesture, nothing more, and the flash will go out forever from innocent eyes, making the light of salvation shine on the guilty face. Adam, trembling, doubting compassion, in the meek and submissive lamb, ready to die instead, go to the promised Savior. With a regretful heart in a painful effort, he digs the stone knife into the chest of the animal that perishes in his hands without even giving a groan. The power of the night is immediately struck down by the brightness of the fire of acceptance. Its light reveals to the human being its tragic condition. Seeing the hand stained by innocent blood, the couple feel guilty for that death. This is 51 chapters and we up to 40, right? This is 51 chapters and we've read up to chapter 40. We got 10, 11 more to go. Let's up on the good self. Debbie, Ingrid, Carlos, Ingrid, Rowena. Over here, we got to do things different. We can't be doing the same thing over and over again. It's very redundant. It's boring. I don't like it. We need to find time and room, to do these little things more than the Oli Palaba Laba. Yes, we do love it. I'm over there too, watching and listening and all these things. But the holy for 24-hourness, it just got to stop. Take a break and let God. I mean, come on, take a break now. Ooh, no, sir. You have to take break. So I have to go to my papa because I can't deal with it. So I have to go read and, go to my father and think because I can't. So I got to bring you guys with me. Of course, I can't be selfish. No. This is the season. Good? So we're reading about the season, right? We're not shopping. Right? We're not shopping for the season. We're reading. Simple. On this wonderful afternoon. There's nothing wrong with that. We're not hurting anyone. Other than Debbie and Ingrid, right? But me not look upon them. Them I listen, but them have to do, them usual thing. But it's all right. They can do what them I do. Them I do them thing. Them I listen to, but them I do them thing. Them I greet the people, them I make sure nobody now come on here and interrupt the flow. So they're greeting and doing their little season greeting thingies because I'm not doing it, so they're gonna do it for me. Good? Okay, good. So moving right along. So just pay attention meanwhile, because this is very important. Because never know about Adam and Eve until read Melchizedek. Now this is about after Satan corrupted them, and the Almighty said, "You gotta go." Oh no, you can't stay here in Eden. Oh no. You gotta go. Go into the earth. Go on. You don't listen, hard of hearing, no one to listen. You go listen to the people then, and you see where it gets or no. So you gotta leave Eden and you gotta go over there and go live. But I'll be still here with you. I'll be here, but I'm not gonna be visible to you. Good? All right. So that's what we're up to. So the Father said, you could see me before, you was in my lap, I was rubbing you down and telling you hush and all of these wonderful things, yes? But no matter what, uno still have to go. Good? But I'm going to be there with you. But you will not be seeing me like you used to. You will not be hearing my footsteps like you used to. I will not be guiding you. But I'll be there, but I'll be invisible to you. That's your punishment. Real talk. I'm reading it. Melchizedek, the high priest of the Almighty. Don't get it twisted. First, high priest to the Almighty, the only one. Only one. Nobody else. Him alone. You could believe it or not. In tears, they kneel before the altar that no longer demands blood from them, but offers light, accepting the unmerited forgiveness. Rising, the couple contemplates the poorly wounded body of the poor little lamb, unable to thank him for the wealth granted in exchange for its so rough blow. Bathed in the soft light of sacrifice, Adam and his companion remain silent to meditate until they are overcome by a deep sleep. Reclining on the ground covered with soft grass, they gently fall asleep under the warm rays of forgiveness, certain that their brightness and heat would last until they were the darkness of that Saturday completely vanished by the shining sun. The light of the Lamb, since it was lit on the altar that night, remained in constant war with darkness. On several occasions, it grew in brightness, chasing away the cold darkness in the distance, bathing nature with its rays of life. Sometimes the darkness, bringing its cold wind, almost completely tore the flame. This, however, in a great effort, fed on the blood of the Lamb, throwing its burning flame high, flooding everything around it with light and heat. The conflict between the light born of sacrifice and darkness on that night discovered to the faithful of the universe many important lessons, truths that would occupy their minds for all eternity in that flame, whether it was burning in its brightness, whether it was whipped by the winds of the night. The faithful saw a representation of the millennial conflict between good and evil, conflict that truce would extend until the eternal dawn, the eternal in pledge of his future sacrifice had lit in the midst of darkness the light of truth, and that would be kept burning in the heart of the human being by virtue of his blood that would be shed for remission of guilt. So remember, guys, good and evil is the concept of Satan. Against the light, the enemy would lash out all the cold winds of evil, banishing its sweet glow from the hearts of many. How many would be lost by rejecting the light of divine forgiveness, being enveloped by the darkness of the dark night? After long hours of combat, the signs of dawn arise in the sky. The darkness that with anger had thrown its winds over the flame that does not die, trying to banish it, becomes confused at the signs of dawn. The sky dyed a bright red reminds us of the blood that had sprouted from the breast of the Lamb, so that the flame of forgiveness could illuminate human night. The people that love to say that the world is coming to an end and God are come and Jesus are come and the Lord are come and this year wanna come and that they wanna come and this that wanna come. Oh no, fit stop it because you're talking nonsense, right? Stop with God soon come and Jesus soon come and the end of the world is coming and this is coming and that is coming because of what Uno say around Uno. That is not it. He already gave us the signs. If you don't know what the sign is, one of them is, I'll tell you right now, well, number two signs is we're already experiencing, which is the darkness thing, right? Okay, right? Okay, good. Yeah. The next one, and the only one, and the only one where you know this is it, is when the moon turns red. Now, when you look up in the sky and you see the moon is red, now you can start, okay? Then you can start talking. It's time. Now, when you see that, that's when you know it's time. Nothing else. Y'all need to stop because y'all don't know. What did he say? Forgive them, Lord, for they know not what they do. Beyond that altar covered with ashes, Adam and Eve contemplate the nostalgic paradise. Although distant in their exile, they rejoice with the certainty that the sacrifice of the Messiah was scratched for them on Saturday of Saturdays. Face the altar for Sunday. Bright. We're not going to like me and I don't business. Me not they here for likes. Me they here for teach. So when you meet the Creator, you cannot say, me never tell you no. You can't say, Rasta never tell you no. You can't say that you never know. You can't. Because Rasta tell you. Beyond that altar covered with ashes, Adam and Eve contemplate the nostalgic paradise. Although distant in their exile, they rejoice with the certainty that the sacrifice of the Messiah was scratched from them on Saturday of Saturdays. That of tears forever banished, from sun always to shine in a clear sky, from lambs always alive to play on the grass, day without dusk, when there will be no more altar covered with blood and ashes. They sigh for that day of glory when the Almighty will become eternally visible, holding in their hands the marks of his infinite love for his children. Before the fall, the human being, as well as all the heavenly hosts, learned at the feet of the Creator, who patiently taught them the treasures of wisdom contained in the vast compendium of nature. Everything in the universe, from the tiny atom to the largest of the worlds, testified in its perfect existence of the character of the divine King. Many teachings, however, remained hidden in the pages of that great book in the period that preceded the fall. They were like the stars that, hidden during the day, reveal their brightness as the shadows of the night come down, having captive nature, the enemy, in an attempt to block the revelation of eternal wisdom, introduced in its spots of selfishness, destruction, unhappiness, and death. I did not know that these spots would show with the face of creation the depth of the Almighty's justice and love, leading the faithful to love and revere him even more. For for the couple, as well as for all the children of light, the wounded nature broke their veil, revealing new aspects of the Creator's goodness, hidden until then. Adam and Eve, who were accustomed to the eternal flowers in paradise, those who did not see them unbuttoned nor now saw them emerge in tender buttons and the threats of thorns ready to hurt them. These tender flowers, regardless of being with the thorns, exhaled soft perfumes of praise and gratitude, never getting tired of pleasing cold winds of the night, never getting tired of pleasing the environment. When whipped by the cold winds of the night, those flowers did not resent, but offered their scent, which transformed the fury of the winds into scented breezes of a dawn. Moved by a deep gratitude, the couple closely accompanied the ministry of love of those flowers that they never tired of blessing, offering their beauty and perfume as relief for those who were hurt by the harsh thorns. Those singular and pure flowers, after showing in their short life that forgiveness and love are stronger than all winds and thorns, in a last effort to communicate joy, exhaled their perfume, falling withered and lifeless on the cold ground. There, forgotten, they became insignificant dust that was dispersed by the wind. The death of the flowers, although it seemed to be a failure, revealed to the couple the mystery of the rebirth of life. By dying, the flowers gave life to the fruits that, in turn, after serving as food, donated their seeds full of life. In the death of these seeds, the miracle of life was reborn, multiplying the trees with their flowers, ready to repeat the teaching of love and sacrifice. Nature, therefore, even stained by sin, revealed the hidden mystery of the plan of redemption. Each flower to unbutton in the middle of the thorns, in its short life of love, was a symbol of the Savior that would be born among the thorns of evil, to comfort the perfume of the heart of the afflicted. Similar to the flower, the Messiah, after proving that love and forgiveness are stronger than all winds of hate, that the truth and justice of the kingdom of the Almighty are greater than all the deceptions and injustices of the kingdom of the enemy, would shed the sage of his life, dying to redeem the guilty. And that's the history of the universe, chapter 5. We just read 1 through 51. And that's about Adam and Eve, right? There's so much more. It's just unbelievable. Did you like that? Now, if you go to the other video, you'll see part 1, Melchizedek. This is part 2, right? Because I read up until which one was it? I think I read up to 22, and I was tired. So now we just finished the whole chapter 5, 1 through to 51, Melchizedek. Carla Spisson, dress up your nice, clean self, darling. I love you guys. Ingrid, sweetheart. Debbie. And again, Rowena, you guys got it, were very privy to this, and you know what that means, right? So it's always good that you're here, to get the edification. It is, it's good. Because it's not always the same thing. We don't need a crowd. Okay, so now that we've done our part, we can go along our merry way. Yeah, Carlos, I love you too. Now we can go our merry way and go do what we usually do to see what's up and all of these wonderful things. But we, did our part, and there's more to come. I'm not going to read, let me see. I'm not going to read, chapter 6, because that's like 2 hours. But we could do that. But, oh yeah, I will be back tonight to sing some Christmas songs. To sing some Christmas carols. Oh, yes, I is. Yeah, that's what I'm going to do. Mm-hmm. So, yeah, it's all the way up through to 1 through 51. And chapter 6 is about, Cain and Abel. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Birth of Cain. Mm-hmm. Oh. The Eternal reveals himself to Cain and tells him the story of Lucifer and the sun, S-U-N. Lucifer and the sun, S-U-N. Promises of the birth of Abel. Cain, like Lucifer, is dragged by his pride to a false illusion. And the father tried everything to save Cain. This is deep. Anywho, so yeah, we got to read that some other time. It is Carlos. I've read it already. This is what you guys do not know. I've read this already. I'm just doing it for you guys, just putting a little drama into it. But yeah, I've read it already. You don't want me to read about Mary and them, right? You don't want me to read about Mary and them, all right? Okay. And the baby and all of that, okay? All right. It's coming. Well, it's not really the time. They say it is, but it's not. Yeah. And the angel and them. Ariel? Wait, was it Ariel? Was it Ariel? I think it was Ariel. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Because it said here, the Almighty would seek all forms in order to save Cain. The Almighty would seek all forms to get the Iesos born. I think it was Ariel. Don't play with me. This ain't about Mary, honey. This is not about Mary. Don't get it twisted. It's about Joseph. She's just a vessel. Real talk. Yeah. This is about Joseph. It's not about Mary. Go look up his lineage and you'll see what's up. Good. It's not about Mary. She's just a vessel. It's about Joseph. Our little sweet Joseph. Yeah. Because as we read yesterday, Adam already knows that the Christ is going to descend from him. Has nothing to do with Mary. Don't kill the messenger. Mad them and mad out. Yeah, so over here you will get little tidbits of little information that you can run along with and hold into your heart and say, well, thank you, Lord. Right? Don't forget. Okay? Always remember that. There's a reason why you're here. Don't forget. Because this thing is real. Okay? All right. Why? What do I always say, guys? Why I say this? Because I was there. Okay? Always remember that. I was there. So I'm giving it to you. Okay? So I'm giving it to you in my own cuckoo way. Yes, I is. I love you guys. Yeah, so I wanted to bring that little bit there for you. You can always go back and rewatch it if you want to listen to something, because my reading is, kind of okay, right? So if you want to just listen to some little bits about Adam and Eve, little things you haven't heard before, well, Melchizedek, you can even download the book yourself, girl. Don't even think I'm lying. Just go download it. I did. Went to the Play Store and put in Melchizedek, and there's the book. No secrets. None. Now, there's another book that I've read, and this is about our Marianne. It's not Mary, it's Marianne. Marianne. Good. Okay, so I've read also about Marianne when she was getting prepared and ready for the baby. She was taken care of by angels, was taking care of her. Ain't no joke. She ate angel food. What's wrong? We don't know. She's coming out of Ethiopia. Don't play with me. Okay. The angel them take care of she. How old was she? 14, 15? Something like that. I can't remember. Ask me again. Don't let me tell you I was there. Okay, good. Anywho, yeah, so yeah, she was eating angel food. Now this is what I read, all kind of stuff. You couldn't go near her. This is this is the season. We're not shopping. And then when he was born, he went buck wild as a little. I mean, he was the Christ. You couldn't say nothing to him. The man, the boy, the little boy would just tell you if you lay down and not get up, and that was the end of you. You know how many children he did that to? He did all kind of stuff. When you ticked him off as a child, oh, don't play with him, honey. Sit down, and you will sit down and can't get up. And it will wither off you. It wither off somebody and a little picnic that was messing with him. The man, the boy, little boy, wither off the boy and he run to his mama, and they had to run them out of town. It's real talk. This is serious. I'm not playing. You couldn't play with him as a little child. The people was afraid of him. They said to Mariam, you and your husband and your picnic, I forgot. Because him terrorizing off the picnic, them, he might kill off everybody. No, real talk. He's doing all kind of stuff. You guys gotta go. And they warn him, you cannot do that. Real talk. He was crazy. All of his cousins and them, and brethren them and stuff, is all the disciple, all of them. My name friend them, and in cousin and in this, that, and all of them. The whole of them, one big, the whole of them was, one big group. It wasn't people who didn't know him. It was his family and stuff. Lazarus was his cousin. Judas was one of his childhood friends, yeah, I think, and he's the one. Judas, they were picking on Judas, or Judas, something with Judas, and he said something to Judas, and Judas looked at him, did whatever, but he knew him from they were little kids. John is his cousin. John the Baptist is his cousin. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. That's why when he saw him, he was like, what? It's you? I'm sorry. Real talk. Yeah. Wasn't somebody he didn't know. It was his cousin, John the Baptist. Ionis. How do I know? You guys got to start reading and quit the talking. Got to start reading more. Edify yourself. You know how much reading I read? Because I can't come up here and talking nonsense. I have to know what I'm talking about, especially when it comes to the Creator. You can't just be blabbing and running off your mouth and calling up his name in vain. He doesn't like it. And you're going to say what you're saying anyway. He's not a joke and he's not to be played with. And you guys keep doing it. We see it on a regular. And you're getting nowhere with it, right? You're getting nowhere with it. Absolutely nowhere. But you continue with the blasphemy and the name calling. So I have a burn fire upon the whole of them, one way or the other. Because we're not dealing with good and evil over here. We're dealing with righteousness and truths and rights, right? We're not dealing with good and evil. You hear them fool people that talk about good and evil. No, say it's the devil concept, and that's it. Satan, Lucifer, good over evil. You want the people to be able to practice it. Good and evil. Have a choice over the matter. Can you imagine? And the father said, wait, you're crazy? You want the people then to practice good over evil? Not on my tour. Oh, I can read it to you. It's right in this book in chapter 1, the beginning. The whole story. It's fascinating. And that's where I learned that from, right? That's where I realized, wow. Satan, Lucifer, good over evil concept. Scary. No, sir. And we see it every day. Good and evil being practiced. The choice of good and evil. A choice. Imagine a choice that him I try to promote on earth. And the father said, no, no choices around here. We are dealing with righteousness, clean heart, pure, everything nice, light. We're not dealing with no darkness around here. I read the whole story. It's fascinating. It kind of puts everything together for you. So you kind of can that. Oh, okay. You can read it and it just kind of make things mesh. Right. So we know Melchizedek as being the high priest to the Almighty. He did have a father. They say he doesn't have mother, he doesn't have a father. That's not true. I read in Melchizedek, he has a father. Real talk. So in the argument that I had repeated where Mutaparuka was telling the Dread, the same thing, and the Dread was telling him, no, he not born on a mother and born on a father, and he had one big argument. But because I wasn't privy to that information, I was like, but is it really? But and I'm rationalizing it to say, well, if it's the creator, anything is possible. That's my faith, right? If it's the creator, anything is possible. So I'm not going to question, if it's true, until I read Melchizedek, who's the high priest to the Almighty. And he made it very clear. He has a father. They didn't mention the mother. So you got to be careful when you sound so sure in what you're saying and you're not saying it's incorrect. Incorrect. Because the Christ was not motherless or fatherless, right? Okay, then. But then again, you see, there we go again. Melchizedek is almost higher than the Christ. And in give whoever that to the Christ. He could have tell who was it? Oh, God, oh Lord, we have to read it. Well, I can't remember if it's Benjamin, one of them, Zachariah, one of them, but I can't remember. Is all. Maybe it's someone. I think it was Benjamin. I can't remember. But one of them. Me can't remember his own. And he could tell him that he knew of some other ancient way back in the day, while he was still in his father's seed bag. And yet, he's still on earth speaking to one of in descendant them from way in. It's deep. So, yeah, that's why I like to read it, because it's very it's very mystical. It's like, yeah, it's nice. Yeah. So that's what I was reading, guys. Purple is life, bless up yourself, darling. I just want to do something different because I'm tired of the whole heap of nonsense and so forth and so forth. And that's just basically it. Nicole Jack, bless up yourself, darling. So tonight, I think I'll do some Christmas songs. Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer. I'll sing a couple of songs, Christmas carols. Yeah. Anywho, I'll see you guys later. Just have a good Sunday and so forth. And thank you for watching me, whoever's watching. Just put a nice, clean self. Have a wonderful day. Have a wonderful evening. Until I see you guys tonight. Thank you, Carlos. Yeah. Thank you guys for greeting everyone for me, because, once I start blabbing, it's a wrap. So anybody that comes on, seasons, greetings and so forth and so forth. And y'all be safe and have a wonderful time and, whatever. And of course, New Year's is next week. You can't bother with the whole heap of talking, with this whole heap of New Year, because it's going to be the same thing again next year. It's not going to be any different. Perhaps it's worse. I have nothing to say. When the New Year come, it just come. Me not have nothing to say. Because it's the same thing every year. So why waste your breath? Why? The only thing I see is people's behavior increasingly worse, not increasingly better. So why bother? Season's greetings, and that's it. Ingrid, Debbie, Carlos. Love on the bad, 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 as usual. My babies. Nicola. Rowena. Mad them and mad out. I'll be back.